Hello, my dear friend. Before we step into tonight's story, pause for a gentle breath, feel the air enter, light as silk, and leave again, softer than thought. Feel your body where it touches the ground, that quiet presence, right there. That is where wisdom begins, because tonight we are not chasing distant enlightenment. We are learning how to stand steady amid the trembling of the world. Have you ever felt that life keeps changing faster than your heart can catch up? That every time you think you found balance, something shifts: the relationship, a career, a loss, the joy that fades too soon? Have you ever longed for a place inside yourself that stays unmoved while everything outside moves? So you are not alone. 1,000 years ago, a man named Sushi asked the same question. And 1,000 years before him, the Diamond Sutra whispered the same truth. All things are like dreams, illusions, bubbles, shadows. Tonight, we will walk with Sushi, poet, exile, philosopher, and with his beloved companion Wang Zhaoyun through the Pavilion of Suchness, the place where he learned to see the world's impermanence not as tragedy, but as poetry. Together, we will explore how to live with an open heart in a world that refuses to stand still. The Poet and the Sutra. Sushi was not a monk, he was a statesman, a lover of wine and laughter, a man who wrote poems that could make emperors weep and farmers smile. Yet behind his humor lay a deep sadness, the sadness of one who saw how fragile everything is. He rose to high office and fell into exile. He built friendships only to lose them to politics and distance. He loved deeply, especially the gentle and wise Wang Zhaoyun. Yet even that love was tested by time and fate. During his years of exile, Sushi spent many nights by the river, watching the moon. He would recite verses from the Diamond Sutra, the same scripture that taught that form is emptiness and emptiness is form. He called the place where he meditated the Pavilion of Suchness, referring to the sutra's teaching that everything, appearance, nature, form, function, cause and effect, is such as it is. In that acceptance, he found peace. Let's imagine him there tonight, sitting under the moonlight, cup of tea cooling beside him, the river glimmering like liquid glass. Wang Zhaoyun joins him, her voice soft but clear. "Life feels like a dream," she says. He smiles. "And yet, we must learn to dream beautifully." This is where philosophy becomes life. The dream that teaches. To call life the dream is not to call it fake, means it's transient, vivid, but changing every instant. In a dream, you may laugh or cry, but when you wake, you realize both were made of the same mind. Likewise, the Diamond Sutra teaches that the world rises within consciousness. The forms we chase, wealth, fame, even sorrow, are movements of the same mind light. Sushi understood this not as detachment, but as artistry. If life is a dream, he wrote, then I will paint it with sincerity. To live well in illusion is to live consciously, to know that each joy and each loss is a brushstroke in a larger canvas. But how do we live that way today? In a world louder and faster than Sushi's gentle river, how do we carry that calm pavilion inside us? Let's explore through 3 lessons: awareness, acceptance, and artistry. Lesson 1. Awareness, seeing the dream while dreaming. When you're dreaming at night, you usually believe it's real. You run, you fear, you hope. Only when you wake do you realize it was mind-made. Spiritual practice invites you to wake within the dream, to recognize life's fluid nature while still living it. This doesn't mean you stop participating. It means you participate with presence. You see your emotions as waves, not verdicts, your thoughts as clouds, not chains. You realize the only thing constant is awareness itself, the watcher of the dream. Try this now. Take a breath and notice the thought that crosses your mind. Maybe it's I'm reading. Maybe it's I'm tired. Watch it rise and fall. That awareness that sees the thou, sin it still, luminous, untouched, that is the pavilion inside you. When you abide there, even chaos becomes scenery. Sushi once wrote, "The moon remains bright whether clouds pass or not." That is awareness, the moon that doesn't vanish when clouds of emotion cover it. Lesson 2. Acceptance, standing still in change. Wang Zhaoyun once asked Sushi, "How do you endure exile, loss, and slander without bitterness?" He replied, "Because I see that every rise and fall is a wave of the same sea." Acceptance doesn't mean passive resignation. It means seeing things as they are, without forcing them into what they're not. When Sushi was banished, he could have drowned in despair. Instead, he wrote poetry, cooked meals for villagers, laughed at himself. He said, "Since fate sends me to the mountains, let me make them my home." That's acceptance as art. In our lives, we often resist change. We say, "This shouldn't happen," but resistance adds suffering to pain. When you learn to say, "This is happening," the door opens. Through that door walks peace. Acceptance is not defeatist clarity. When you see reality clearly, you can respond wisely. You stop fighting the river and learn to swim with its current. Try this. Think of something in your life right now that feels uncertain. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this teaching me?" That single shift transforms resistance into curiosity, and curiosity is the beginning of peace. Lesson 3. Artistry, turning impermanence into beauty. To Sushi, impermanence was not an enemy, it was his muse. He knew that the beauty of the moon lay in its changing phases. The same is true for us. Every ending holds a beginning in disguise. Wang Zhaoyun once told him, "Even sorrow has music," and he agreed. They would write poems about loss that glowed with tenderness, because they saw that to grieve fully is also to love fully. When you don't deny impermanence, your creativity awakens. Your own life, artistry doesn't mean painting or writing, it means living with attention. Making tea becomes ceremony, listening becomes prayer, even washing dishes becomes meditation. When done with presence, the dream becomes luminous because you are awake within it. The modern pavilion. Now, let's bring this wisdom into today's storms: technology, relationships, uncertainty. Technology and the noise of change. Our world spins faster than ever. News cycles flash, trends die in days. The mind becomes dizzy. The practice of Sushi's pavilion is to pause, step back, ask, "Is this real, or am I lost in the dream of reaction?" When you do, you reclaim your power. You don't need to withdraw from the world. You just need to wake within it. Relationships and the fragility of love. Sushi and Wang Zhaoyun's love was tender because it acknowledged impermanence. They never pretended forever, they cherished moments. You can do the same. Every hello carries the seed of goodbye. But knowing this deepens affection. When you hug someone, feel it fully. Tomorrow is not guaranteed, and that's what makes today sacred. Uncertainty and inner stability. Sushi was exiled multiple times, yet his spirit grew freer with each loss, because he realized you cannot control circumstances, only your heart. The pavilion is not a building, it's awareness resting in understanding. To practice, you might sit for a few minutes each day and breathe, repeating softly, "This moment is enough." Gradually, the nervous system learns what the heart already knows, that peace doesn't depend on conditions. The River Beneath the Moon. One of Sushai's most famous poems was written on a night of reunion with his brother after long separation. Standing by the river, he said, "We share the same moon, though we are far apart." That line has comforted countless hearts across centuries. Why? Because it reminds us that beneath all change, something unites us, the same awareness, the same longing for peace. The Diamond Sutra calls it the Suchness of all things. The moon reflects in countless waters, but the moon itself never moves. Similarly, your awareness shines through countless experiences without ever being stained. When you feel scattered, remember this: you are not the waves, you are the sea. You are not the phases of the moon, you are its light. This realization doesn't make you escape the world. It allows you to love it more deeply, because you no longer fear its transience. The practice of six Suchness. Sushai's Pavilion of six Suchness refers to 6 ways of seeing reality without distortion. You can practice them too, not as doctrine, but as mindfulness. Such appearance see things as they appear, without judging good or bad. Such nature recognize their essence, impermanent, interconnected. Such forms see how they manifest through conditions. Such function notice what they do, what they teach. Such cause understand the roots behind them. Such effect observe how they evolve and dissolve. When you see life through these 6 lenses, you stop clinging to partial truth, you see the whole dance. You become like the calm pavilion itself, open to wind and rain, yet unshaken. Bringing poetry into practice. Let's bring this teaching into everyday acts. When you wake up, whisper, "Let me walk today as if in a dream, aware and gentle." When you eat, say, "This taste will pass, but its memory will nourish gratitude." When you argue, pause and ask, "Is this worth disturbing the moon of my mind?" When you succeed, bow inwardly. This too is a passing reflection. When you fail, smile, the river keeps flowing. These small practices turn philosophy into living art. You become like Sushi himself, grounded, humorous, kind, unbreakable. The power of humor and humanity. One reason Sushai's wisdom and yours is that he laughed at his own illusions. Once, during exile, he received a bowl of plain rice and laughed, "Ah, the emperor feeds me simplicity." Humor dissolves heaviness. When you can smile at impermanence, you're already free. One Zhaoyun once teased him, "You turn suffering into poems." He replied, "What else can I do? The moon insists on shining even on broken water." That's the essence of practice, to let awareness shine even when life feels fragmented. You can do the same. When trouble comes, instead of saying, "Why me?" ask, "What poem can I make from this?" It doesn't mean denial, it means transformation. The deeper meaning of dreamlike truth. The Diamond Sutra calls all phenomena like a dream, like a phantom, like dew, like lightning. Each metaphor reveals a layer of truth. Dreams remind us of mind's power. Phantoms remind us of perception's relativity, who shows the tenderness of impermanence. Lightning reveals how quickly moments pass. Together, they tell us cherish, don't cling, participate, don't possess, love, don't attach. Sushi lived by this understanding. His exile became freedom, his sorrow became art, his impermanence became joy. Wang Zhaoyun walked beside him not as escape, but as reflection, the reminder that wisdom and love are never separate. building your own pavilion. You don't need mountains or rivers to find your pavilion. You can build it wherever you are, on a city balcony, in a quiet corner, even in your car. All you need is awareness. Sit quietly for a few minutes each day. Imagine a moon above a river. That thoughts come and go like ripples. Say silently, all things are such as they are. Then open your eyes and carry that calm into your next conversation, your next meal, your next challenge. That is real practice, not escape, but engagement with clarity. The gentle power of letting go. The heart of the Diamond Sutra lies one phrase: no attachment to form. Letting go is not loss, it's liberation. Sushi learned this when he lost everything he thought defined him. You may learn it in smaller ways, when plans fall apart, when people change, when time moves on. Each letting go is a rehearsal for freedom. And freedom doesn't mean you stop caring, it means you care without fear. Try this visualization. Imagine holding a handful of water. If you grip tightly, it slips away. If you open your palm, it stays for a while, reflecting the sky. That open palm is the awakened heart. A return to stillness. As night deepens, Sushi and Wang Zhaoyun sit in silence. The river glows, the moon drifts, the tea grows cold. He says, the world will keep changing, but I no longer chase it. She smiles, then perhaps we can rest. You can rest too, right now, without fixing anything, without waiting for the perfect time. Just resting in the awareness that sees the dream for what it is, transient, beautiful, whole. When you live this way, life no longer feels like a storm, feels like weather passing over an eternal sky. You can laugh and cry freely because you know neither defines you. This is the secret of Sushi's Pavilion and the essence of the Diamond Sutra, to see the unreal clearly enough that you can live the real with all your heart. So tonight, if you feel lost, remember you are standing in your own pavilion. The river flows, the moon shines, the world shifts, but your awareness remains luminous and free. Thank you for watching this video. If this journey helped you find steadiness amid change, please like, subscribe, comment, and share it with someone who might need to remember that even in a dream, peace is possible.
Before you leave, here's something special. In Buddhism, we believe that every encounter carries a deeper meaning. Would you like to discover your true soul connection, the one written into your destiny? Take the Soulmate Test today and unveil the hidden truths of your journey. Click the link below and begin your path now.
http://soulmate. You wisdom more, come, white.